Dear girlies, welcome to the Notes to Her podcast. I'm your hostess Rianne, and we are back with another episode. How are we all doing? What is going on? I can't believe it. Another Friday is here. Super excited. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. So let's do a check-in. I am feeling I'm feeling a bit all over the place. I think just a little bit of a scatterbrain today, also in the luteal phase, try not to dwell on that too much. So I've got a nice little visitor coming to visit for like a week soon, and don't we just love Aunt Flo, girlies, So yeah, it's the preparation for her to arrive. So just a little bit of thing, but yeah, I'm feeling okay, I think. Other than that, when I do these check-ins, it's really helpful, obviously for yourselves, but then also for me as well, to be like, okay, what am I actually, feeling today? What's going on? Where am I? Let me ground myself. But yeah, I think I'm okay. Anyway, and how has my week been? It's been pretty good. It's been working, but then a bit of like, not, so I'm able to do other things, like go gym, and I guess just like rest. It's been really nice to be able to just rest, although my mind is going, I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this. It's really nice just to kind of like have a bit of a slower pace, and just do like life admin stuff. And yeah, so nothing really like that prominent. I know usually I'm someone that's kind of like doing this activity, and then I've got something else going on, and then I'm doing this, but now it's just like, no, slow down. Trying to prep for my holiday as well, upcoming holiday, going back to Ghana. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep costs low basically until I head over there. So yeah, I think that's everything. That's how my week's been. Nothing too monumental, just been like meeting up with friends, or like, I guess, going out and do like little bits here and there as well. But other than that, literally just been like chilling, killing. Do you know what I mean? So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about pressure, and got a definition for us as per usual. Is it even a notes to her episode if there is no definition, So the definition of pressure is the feeling of stressful urgency or demand. So I've just done like a short bit of the definition, and then it kind of like broken it down into different aspects. So, I just took the emotional meaning definition. So similar to the main one, it says it's the stress, strain, or burden that comes from difficult situations or expectations or urgent deadlines. So I have come to the realization, as of recently, the amount of pressure that I put on myself. And I know that I'm not the only one. There are so many different types of pressure, I feel like, as well. And when I was writing this episode, I was kind of like, gosh, I didn't realize how much, I guess, self-pressure that we put on ourselves, societal pressures that we put on ourselves, pressures, I guess, from home as well. So those are the kind of categories that I guess were coming up when I was planning this episode. And, I'm someone that is, I guess, a bit of like, I wouldn't necessarily say a perfectionist. I feel like I've kind of slowed down with that aspect now. Some things I just do half-heartedly and just hope for the best at this point. But I'm very much someone that is kind of like driven. So I know people that are more like driven, ambitious, that people that are also perfectionists, they tend to put a lot of pressure on themselves, because I don't really know the reason as to why. I haven't really unlocked that yet for myself, and I can't speak for everyone, but there are things, I guess, of kind of just like, I just got to get this done. I know this will work. I really want this to work. This is going to happen. And so I think sometimes it's good to have those aspects and put that bit of pressure on yourself as well, especially when it's just like a form of, I guess, drive and motivation. And it is just like, I guess, not wanting the next thing, but kind of just like, I need to achieve this. But I think when it gets to the point when you're kind of like, it's a continuous pressure, it's almost every single day, you know, you're not taking a break, you're not, you know, allowing yourself to, I guess, take your foot off the gas a little bit, that's when it can kind of become a bit of a risk. So, you know, like, as I was saying, the types of pressures that I guess was coming to mind when I was like writing this episode were societal pressures. So things like, you know, having the next biggest thing that's like just come out, you know, brands, flashy material things, money, you know, big ballers, being out looking good 24/7, you know, certain beauty standards as well. I'd put in like the societal pressures, I guess always living like the high life, having like the best relationship, like what society deems to be the best, I guess, on social media as well. Like, you know what comes to mind, sorry, just a little tangent, I guess, but when I was growing up, like, loved Twitter was like the app that like my go-to app basically. And there was this couple that would always pop up on my timeline, although I'd never like followed them. They would just kind of like randomly come up every now and again, and people would like quote tweet it, and, you know, I guess it became a bit of like a thing, I guess, annually. Like, they would come up, maybe not annually, maybe 6 months, I don't know. Anyway, the guy would always buy the girl like the next biggest thing, do, you know, big, I don't know, whether it's for birthday, Valentine's, showstopper things basically. And I remember being younger and always being like, oh my gosh, relationship goals, like, this is the best thing ever, like, oh my goodness, see how you treat, like, things like that. So when I'm putting relationships, it's kind of things that I guess where you do the whole relationship goals and things that seem perfect online, basically. So yeah, those are societal pressures. Home pressures, you know, I've put having to pay bills, you know, cleaning the house, family, again, relationship if you're living with a partner, parents if you're still living with your parents, or, you know, even if you're not, the pressures that I guess parents can also put on us as well. People can also put pressure on us, but yeah, just parents I'd put there as well. And then like life pressures, I'd put like career, you know, buying a new house or like a new home and things like that as well, you know, starting a family. I think it's such a normal thing when growing up. It's kind of like you have those pressures put on you from such a young age. Like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, when are you going to have kids once you've grown up? Oh, are you going to go to uni? Are you going to go to college? So what's the next thing? Like, those kind of questions. And I know within British culture, it is such like, you cannot escape life if those questions are not asked, basically. Like, someone is bound to ask them. It is a normal thing. I know I've also asked people that too. And I think obviously it depends on the person, but I really feel like sometimes it can be the case of people don't necessarily know what they want. We have such massive pressure put on us, especially when we're in school as well, you know, of like GCSEs. I remember when I was like in secondary school, and, you know, I would genuinely think like the world was ending if I, you know, didn't get like a good grade in my GCSEs. So much pressure on that. I'm like, oh, I need to know what I need to be doing with my life. Like, I'm going to fail at these. The world is over. My life is over if I fail at these exams. I have to choose what I want to do as well. And then once I finish that, I have to go to uni, and then I'll like college even. And then like after that, I have to go to uni, and I need to decide what I want to do. I remember that era and time of my life, which is like a significant length of time, really, especially when you're in education, of, I guess, having that pressure and feeling that. I was really lucky that I hadn't, you know, become ill or anything like that because of the amount of pressure that I was putting myself to be the perfectionist and make sure I got good grades. And like, I was always a high achiever and also overachiever. And if I didn't, you know, do well in something, I hated that for myself. I hated that so much. And it's always interesting looking back now of just like, you're just so young to kind of be making like such decisions and feel like if you don't know what you want to do once you finish school, or if you don't know what you want to be at such a young age, then it's kind of like, oh, well, that's it, I failed at life. And I know even kids now, they feel it now. Like, I talk to, you know, people that are a bit younger than me, and even like my younger sister and stuff, when she was going through that, I remember it kind of being the same thing. And when I talk to like, I guess even people that are older than me, like work colleagues and things as well, it's something where their kids may be going through that, and they're like, oh, they just feel so much pressure in taking the exams and doing the exams and things like that as well. And it's only now really that I've kind of come to the, I guess, understanding, and I feel like I'm still slowly getting there now, of just taking my foot off the gas of a lot of self pressure, and also beginning to understand like the society's pressure that gets put on us as well. I also think it's so normalized because of the kind of like terminology and like words that we use, just like, oh, I have to do this, I got to do this, I need to do this, and if I don't do this, then this and this, or if I don't do this, then XYZ. And so that, I feel like, ingrains that, even though it's such a small thing, like the words that are being used there, that then also adds on to certain pressures that we may be feeling as well. I kind of think of it also as like the aspect of, like when, because I do this all the time, and I think this was such a eye-opening thing for me, because I was like, oh, okay, so this is actually what I do. I do that. And it's something where basically, like, when you're picking loads of different things up, girlies, when you're picking loads of things up, right? You've got, I don't know, a water bottle in one hand, you've got your phone in the other, you've got your phone charger, maybe you've got your car keys, you've got some clothes that have been like put out on the line or something, I don't know. You've got, I don't know, your laptop underneath your arm, you've got a bag that you need to bring up as well to your room. I'm talking like this because I live in a house, so different levels. And like when there's like one last thing that you need to basically pick up, but your hands are practically full, there's nothing else that can fit under your arms. And you're just like, let me just grab this. And it's like, let me put this in my mouth as well. So it's almost, you're trying to juggle so many different things at once. And then, when you see that one last thing, maybe mouth is now used because it's holding something else. And then one last thing, you thought you had everything, you grab one last thing. And it's like, if you grab that or lean a certain way or, tip a bit forward, everything's going to come crashing down. And it's basically that feeling. And I remember doing that a few months ago, and I was like, oh, so this is what it's like to continuously pick things up and not put anything down, or pretend that I'm okay and I'm able to manage and walk up the stairs with my mouth full, and I can't even see my toes anymore because of the amount of things that I'm carrying. And so that's what I think of now when I think of that pressure, or when I think of, oh, I can't carry this anymore. Like, not I can't carry this anymore. I guess it's that too. But oh my goodness, like, how am I going to manage this? It's picking up so many different things and not giving yourself time to either put it down or just take a few things at a time that you're able to manage. The aspect of also a lot of self-pressure, I don't know, it comes in so many different forms as well. Like, I love being productive, I love doing things, I love being active, and I remember, like, as well, like the aspect of feeling guilty of resting. Girlies, who feels guilty when they rest? Now, I'm not talking about the bed rotters. I'm not talking about the ones that's like, not me, like I can lay in my bed all day and do nothing and I don't feel guilty about that. But the ones essentially that are continuously just going and almost never really feeling like they can actually rest. So the other day, and it's funny because I said like, oh, I've just been resting, I've been doing this and things like that as well. But I know it also takes my mind a while to be like, just rest. Like, it's actually okay. Sometimes in my mind, although I'm resting, I'm like, my body's tired. Like, I just need to not do anything for a little bit. My mind can continue to go like, oh, I need to do this. And I actually haven't done this. And then I actually also need to do this. Oh yeah, but if I don't do that today, then, this is going to delay. Am I procrastinating? Am I not? My mind is continuously going, and I can't ever then feel present because my body is just like running like 100 miles an hour. And so I had to really come to, and this used to be like a lot worse, to be honest as well. And I had to really come to terms of just like rest is productive. Rest is just as productive as, I don't know, whatever things that are on your to-do list for the day. And coming to terms with like, for me to be able to, like, you need to rest to be able to give you 100%. If you're continuously going, like, and never stopping for like one moment, you'll eventually burn out. Which leads me then to the impacts of those continuous pressures. And I think this bleeds into like another topic as well that I'm going to be talking about on a different episode too. So the impacts of pressure, I noted down a few, and some of these come with, an irregular nervous system. So I feel like I speak about this every episode, and at this point I actually need to give like a definition of like what it means. But the flight, fight or freeze response, again, with like our nervous system, the continuous pressure means that we're putting continuous stress on ourselves. And I think that even was, mentioned in the definition as well. The feeling of stressful urgency or demand, and then like the stress, strain or burden. And that stress impacts our nervous system, always feeling like we're on the go, or feeling like, okay, well, I'm a perfectionist and what I've just done isn't good enough to do. The thing of like, I need to be better at this, I need to do this, I need to do this, that kind of never gives us, I guess, that time to kind of just like breathe. I feel like there's also like a constant chasing that comes with the continuous pressure. It's almost like nothing ever feels good enough. You can never feel satisfied. It's almost like you're always chasing the next high, the next thing. And even when you achieve what you want to achieve, it never actually satisfies you, or you never feel like you've actually accomplished anything, because you're not sitting in the present and enjoying the positive feelings that can come from achieving that thing or creating something great. I've already mentioned, burnout. And I notice as well, like, if you don't rest, your body will do it for you. Girlies, have you ever noticed that when you are continuously in go mode, continuously, and never, even if it's in your mind, that you end up feeling a bit sick, you end up being ill? Like, your body will actually do that for you, make you rest, and then you can't do anything because, I don't know, you've come down with the flu or some weird infection or something occurs because of the continuous pressure and the continuous go mode, and you're burnt out. Survival mode, I think that's the same thing as well as the go mode. You're kind of like never like, I guess in a way you're unsettled. You are kind of just almost like, let me just do this quick. And I'm saying it as a form of like, I'm thinking like fast paced, everything has to be fast. And then also the chemicals that course through your body. I think it's cortisol. I should have done my research beforehand, but I think it is cortisol that can cause high levels of stress. And when that is continuously coursing through your body, I know sometimes, like, for example, when I was in uni and I had like deadlines coming up, I was always someone that was kind of organized, and I would always start like my assignments early because I knew I'm not someone that can work well under like intense pressure. I'd never really done well with exams, like even when I was a kid. And so like when I had assignments and stuff, I'd rather start early so I've got time. And it was the same kind of thing though, like as the deadlines were getting closer for me to like submit assignments and stuff, and if I hadn't completed it, like I would still just be like, I'd be so jittery. I could feel almost like, I don't know, I don't want to say, girlies, have you ever noticed basically like when you drink water and it like goes down your throat, like you sometimes feel it, especially if it's cold and I guess you're parched as heck, like that. And I guess that's what it was feeling like in my body, just continuous stress, continuous cortisol coursing through, and just like almost like, I guess I don't really want to say like the blood was bubbling, but just like continuous adrenaline. So those are the impacts of pressure. Probably loads more, but I didn't see those or didn't research them, so apologies. So some tips to, I guess take your foot off the gas a little bit. Maybe that's what I'll call this episode. Take your foot off the gas. Not physically in the car, figuratively, obviously. Pause. Take the time just to pause in your day, especially if, you're someone that is continuously like, zzz, has that kind of feeling. I don't know why I buzzed like a bee, but there we go. Pausing really helps to kind of like notice the present, what's going on. I feel like also grounding yourself, kind of like using certain grounding exercises, is really, really helpful as well. Celebrate small wins. So, for example, I guess if you've like gone to the gym, I do this sometimes. Sometimes I can't be asked to go to the gym. And when I go, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I went. I've burned through energy that I didn't even know was there. The endorphins are going through, everything else, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. But after I've gone, I've celebrated with myself. Just a little clap, just like, oh my gosh, well done for going. Or, if I've lifted a heavier weight than I had been doing before, celebrating those things. If I've done more reps than, and pushed myself more, celebrating those, it makes such a massive difference. And the more you do it, the easier it will get. And allow yourself to rest. And try not to feel guilty about doing so, even if it's just resting for like 30 minutes or an hour. And then it's like, okay, peak energy again, let's go. There's also questions that I think could be beneficial for people as well. So things like, what's the underlying thing that you're trying to achieve? If, for example, you're a perfectionist, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Not the task at hand, but, the underlying thing, what's causing you to kind of put that pressure on yourself? What will happen if I don't complete this? So I won't say every day, but the days where like, I know like, okay, I there's a few things that I actually really need to get done. I tend to make a to-do list. And I found that is actually quite a helpful thing. Even if I like note it down on my notes app or, write it down physically, but it's like, okay, I can write this down. And I know now these are the things that I need to do. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes my brain can go like, oh, I need to do all these things. So what do I need to do first? What can I do first? How can I strategize? And it's just like, just take one step at a time. Just do one thing first and then the rest will follow through. So also a to-do list may help. That wasn't on my notes, but maybe a to-do list will help, in the form of like, not necessarily having to prioritize, but just, no, that could help as well. That will help with the prioritization. And allowing yourself, okay, if I don't tick this off today, can something be moved to tomorrow? It's just to help ease off the pressure if you're someone that has a continuous busy schedule or, you're not sure what to do first or, yeah, basically. And what's within my control? I think some things is kind of like certain things are out of control. So, you can't decide. For example, those societal pressures that I was talking about, whether it's a relationship, whether it's, what were some of the examples? Certain beauty standards, whether it's, home life, whether it's career, like those kind of things, those types of pressures that I'm talking about, what's within your control that you can do now. If there's things that are out of your control that you actually don't have any influence or control over, then leave it be, and things will eventually align when they're meant to align. And so that is everything, girlies, I think. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment and subscribe. I've actually forgot to say that earlier in the episode before checking in, but yeah, please like, follow and subscribe. Follow the Notes to Her podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. I always forget to shout that out. The Notes to Her account on Instagram is called notes2her.pod, so you can give that a follow. And also myself a follow, Rianne Walker, but instead of the E in Walker, it is an X. And yeah, I will see you girlies in the next episode. Loves ya.